Hello chess lovers, Suren here, and in this video I want to share with you a quick victorious game which was played by the reigning world chess champion Magnus Carlsen. His opponent is Indian chess grandmaster Sahaj Grover, and the game was played in 2017 at Pro Chess League. This was a rapid game, and Carlsen, who was playing with white pieces, opened up the game with a hypermodern fashion, and he went for Larsen's opening. With this move, white is preparing an immediate fianchetto of his queenside bishop and is allowing black to occupy the center. Later, the bishop will put a useful pressure on black's kingside. Meanwhile, black responded with e5, bishop b2, knight c6, e3, knight e7, which is a somewhat strange move. Usually, instead of playing knight g7, black is developing his knight on f6, but in our game we have knight ge7, knight f3 e4, knight g5. Now the pawn on e4 is hanging, black played d5, but now comes queen h5. Yes, just from the beginning Carlsen is playing very aggressively. Black neutralized the threat, and now we have knight c3, knight ce5. Already bishop g4 can be a very nasty threat. That's why Carlsen played bishop e2, c6, and f4. Black captured en passant, and g takes f3. So far so good. We have an equal position, but in here Sahaj Grover made a terrible mistake and played h6, which is losing. Well, instead it was better either to play knight d7 with the idea of kicking away the queen from this active square, or simply play bishop e7. But in our game we have h6, which steps into a devastating knight takes f7 sacrifice. I just can't understand how could Sahaj Grover overlook this move. Black captured on f7 with the king in order to keep the knight on g6 protected, but now we have f4. White is attacking black knight on e5, and this f-pawn actually wants to step forward once again. Knight d7. Well, in here it was high time to offer the exchange of queens, but even in this case white is maintaining advantage. But of course this could prolong black's resistance, but in our game we have knight d7, rook g1, white is intensifying the pressure on g6. Finally black played queen h4 check, but here Carlsen simply moved his king on d1, queen takes h5, and bishop takes h5. Now white will win back the sacrificed piece and will keep on pressing. Bishop d6, and another impressive move by Carlsen, knight b5. Well, of course he could capture on g6, but he's not hurrying, guys. He's creating more problems for his opponent. With this move, white is opening up this bishop's diagonal, and the idea of knight b5 is that if c takes b5, then white can capture on g6 with his rook, and white is actually creating too many threats. Now if knight f6, then simply rook takes f6, and if bishop e7, then f5 is coming, and then rook takes g7 is a very devastating threat. Let's go back, but in our game, after knight b5, black played bishop f8, tried to strengthen the pawn on g7, and finally we have rook takes g6. Now if c takes b5, then rook takes g7, double check is coming. That's why black moved away his king from the dangerous diagonal, but now we have knight c7, rook b8, knight d6. With a beautiful maneuver, white is intensifying the pressure on g7, knight f6, and after knight takes g7 move, finally black resigned. Now if bishop takes g7, then bishop takes f6 is coming, and with two extra pawns and with so many threats, this is going to be an easy win for white. Or after knight takes g7, if knight takes h5, then white can recapture with the knight, and now it's a discover check, and then play f5. Yes, again, this is going to be winning, guys. White can win the game very quickly. That's why after knight takes g7 on move 20, black resigned. Well, that was a poor play by black, and in his turn Magnus Carlsen played brilliantly and punished his opponent in style. In the end, let's also solve a chess puzzle where the task is to find a mating line for black. There is a mate in fourth, and I will wait for your answer in the comment section. Thanks for watching. In the end, here are more suggestions for you. Feel free to check them out as well. I will see you in my next video.